This is GHK, an old fear, told again. The cabin belongs to people I barely know. An hour up a logging road past the last bar of signal, and I agreed to watch it for a week because the money was good and I liked the quiet. The quiet ended around 9, when the storm came down off the ridge and the rain turned the windows to static. Somebody outside called my name. It was my mother's voice, tired and close, the way she sounds when she has been driving too long. My mother is asleep in the upstairs room. I know because I just checked, and I'm writing this down so I remember that I checked. Let me back up, because the order of things matters. The owners left a page of instructions on the counter, most of it about the wood stove and the water pump and which breaker trips when the well runs dry. There is also a laminated card taped to the inside of the front door, gone soft at the corners from being handled. And when I got here that afternoon, I read the top line, laughed, and did not read the rest. The top line says, in careful block letters, it will use the voices of people you love. I thought it was a joke the owners left for their house sitters. I'm not laughing now. When the voice came the first time, I went to the window like anyone would. The yard light was on, a weak yellow cone in all that rain, and past it the tree line stood black and moving. Nothing on the porch, nothing on the steps. My mother's voice came again from just beyond the light, saying my name, and then, "Come help me. I have fallen. I cannot get up." Thunder rolled over the ridge, and I felt it come up through the floor. Every instinct I own wanted to throw the door open and run out into the rain toward her. I did not. I went upstairs instead, to be sure. The stairs are narrow and they turn once, and the upstairs room was dark and warm and smelled like the cedar chest at the foot of the bed. My mother was asleep on her side, one hand tucked under the pillow, her breathing slow and even, exactly the breathing I have listened to my whole life. I stood in the doorway longer than I needed to. She did not stir. Whatever was calling my name in her voice, out there in the rain, it was not her, because she was here, sleeping, and the voice outside called again while I stood watching her not move at all. Two voices, one mother. I went back down and I read the rest of the card, all of it, twice. It says the thing outside will use the voices of people you love. It will sound hurt and close, and it will know your name and their names and the small things only they should know. It says, do not open the door. Do not answer it, not even to tell it to go away. And the last line underlined so hard the pen went through the lamination. Whatever else you do, do not count how many times it calls. I did not understand that last part when I read it. I understand it now, and I wish I had kept on not understanding. The second time, it was not my mother. It was my oldest friend, the one I have known since we were 7, using the laugh he only uses when he is scared and trying not to show it. He said my name and said, "Man, just open up. It is really coming down out here." It was perfect. It was him. Then a few minutes later, it was my sister, and then it was a voice I did not recognize at all until it said my name a second time, and I understood cold all the way down that it was mine, my own voice, outside in the rain, calling me home. I moved away from the door and sat with my back against the far wall, where I could see it but not be seen through the little window in it. The voices kept coming, one every few minutes, patient, taking turns. Each one knew something. My mother's voice mentioned the dog we had when I was small. My friend's voice named the town we got lost in once. They were not guessing, they were reciting. the way you recite a thing you have taken and now own. The door handle moved just barely, and the old hinge let out a slow, dry creak and then went still. I did not move for a long time after that. Here's the mistake, and I made it without deciding to. I started counting. Not on purpose. My mind just did it. The way it counts stairs or the rings of a phone. A small, quiet tally in the back of my head. That was the 14th call. That was the 15th. Somewhere around 20, I caught myself and tried to stop and found that I could not. That the number was there now whether I wanted it or not, ticking up with every voice. The card had warned me about exactly this, and I had walked straight into it anyway. Because counting is what a frightened mind does to feel like it still has some control. The calls came faster after that. What had been one every few minutes became one every minute. Then quicker, the voices layering over each other. My mother and my friend and my sister and myself all calling my name at once from just past the yellow light. All of them hurt, all of them close, all of them counting on me to lose my nerve. And underneath the layering I could hear something else, very faint, keeping its own tally out there in the dark. A low voice, counting too, matching my number, waiting for the two of us to arrive at the same one at the very same time. At some point the storm eased just enough that I heard the knock, 3 raps, then 2 on the front door. It is the knock my family has used my whole life. The one my mother taught us so we would always know it was safe to open up. Nobody outside this family knows that knock. The hinge creaked again as the door took the weight of something leaning against it from the other side, and the wood bowed inward the smallest amount, and my own voice, very gentle now, said through the gap at its edge, "You can stop counting. You're almost there. Just tell me the number." And I finally understood what the rule was protecting. The thing outside cannot come in on its own. It has to be let in, and answering is how you let it in, and it turns out counting is a kind of answering. Every number I had ticked off was a word I was speaking back to it, quietly. In the dark, a conversation I did not know I was having. The card was never really about silence. It was about not agreeing to the count, because the moment my number and its number meet, the counting is finished, and a finished count is a door held open. I had been holding it open for an hour. I went upstairs again. I told myself it was to check on my mother, but really I just did not want to be alone in the room with that door. The narrow stairs, the turn, the smell of cedar. The bed was empty. The blanket was folded back and still held the faint shape of her, and it was warm when I put my hand to it, but she was not in it, and she was not anywhere in the room. Downstairs, very clearly, through the front door, my mother's voice said my name and asked me, so kindly, how many times she had called tonight. I did not answer her out loud. I did not have to. The number was already sitting in my mouth like a stone. I'm going to write the number down instead of saying it. That feels safer, though I'm not sure anything is safer now. It is 31. It has been 31 for a few minutes, because the calls stopped. All of them at once, inside and outside, the whole storm holding its breath. The yard light is still on, the door is still shut, the card is still taped where it has always been, and in the new quiet I can hear one voice left, close and patient and mine, counting under its breath on the other side of the wood, and it has just reached 30. It is waiting for me to give it 31. I know now why the owners never sit their own cabin, and why the card is worn so soft. and why there is always someone new up here alone in a storm. Someone has to answer, so that the one who answered before them can finally stop. The knock came a whole family ago. The hinge is quiet. My mother is calling from the porch and from the stairs and from the empty room all at once, and my own voice is calling from just outside the door, and I have run out of reasons not to say it. It is 31. I only just noticed the card is not taped to the door anymore. It is in my hand, and I'm carrying it out to the porch for whoever comes next. That is the story for this episode. Another old fear from somewhere else in the world. Next time, subscribe and sleep well.